So, a couple days ago, I dropped my phone in the pool. And if anybody has ever experienced that before, you feel like a total idiot for doing it. Um, but yeah, so I was left without a phone for maybe 2 or 3 days. And, you know, it wasn't fun. I set up everything, made sure to, uh, you know, make a reservation at or an appointment, sorry, at at the Verizon store. But this video is mostly about my experience, being without a phone. It felt weird, actually. It was probably the first time in a long time, and I'm talking about like 15-ish years since I've, not had a phone at all. I can't call anybody, I can't reach anybody. You feel, I wouldn't say isolated because that's not really how I felt, because I could still go outside, drive to my friends' houses and, go see them, let them know, hey, I'm not dead. uh, but what it felt was, you know, it really gives you that feeling of, pre-internet, how people hung out, people, it's weird because yeah, I was not necessarily bored because I could still go on my computer, but one of the things was it did remind me of, my early childhood of, basically, you had to go on the computer to look for answers. You know, there's just a ton of things that I had felt. Another thing was, when you go to bed, you can't bring your computer to your bed before you go to bed, and so before you go to sleep. So for once in a really long time, I actually got great sleep. I got such great sleep. And it felt great. I woke up, I think, because I had to set up my computer or something to wake me up. It's kind of like roulette. Like, you just wake up, like, whenever you can, and then set up your computer, and then, like, it'll wake me up at, like, 8:30 or something. Um, Set that alarm clock on your computer. But it did feel interesting. It was very liberating, I would say. And it's not the same if you have a phone. By the way, speaking of, I think it's kind of ironic I'm actually recording on my new phone. But anyway, so here's the thing. I what I used to do was I wanted to get that same feeling as I did back in like 2005, when used to live in Munich, Germany. So I put my phone in the other room, and it just didn't work because I would just go get my phone and I could turn it on. But this time it felt different. I was able to go around the house and just get chores done. You know, um, it felt interesting too because one of the things was it doesn't allow me to to doom scroll or to look up random news that was on my mind. I could go on my computer, but it just wasn't as easily accessible. Another thing was I hadn't used Instagram besides maybe to reach out to this one girl I've been reaching out to on a dating app. But besides that, um, not really, not really anything other than that. But I have to say the feeling was liberating, being able to not feel connected to the world just for a second, to actually go swimming again this time, but not feel guilty for my mistake. Um, yeah, no, I mean, I have to say, another thing was I was watching shows and I didn't feel distracted. I could actually watch the shows and not have to multitask and not feel guilty that, hey, I have to rewind because I missed something. You know, That's always a big problem. I feel like we are way too connected to our phones that even in the moment, even if we're at like a concert, or at the beach or something, we always have to take a photo of something. We always have to watch a video. Um, I didn't feel that. And I know it's like 3 days, but still, I felt it felt interesting. I wouldn't say I felt better. I don't know if I said I felt better, but it felt good. It felt good to kind of just focus in on one thing. It helped me at work. I felt a lot more alert, and I didn't feel like, that I had to go out into the other room, get my phone, check on what my friends are up to. I mean, that's fun and everything, but I actually got work done. That made me feel fantastic, actually. My attention span was also much better as a result. Um, I was able to listen in on conversations with my parents. One of my parents lives nearby me, so I could just go see them. I was able to listen in. I didn't feel, again, distracted by my phone. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's also the first time in a while that I've taken a walk and then not had my phone. Um, it's weird. You just kind of appreciate nature in ways you never thought you could, and you don't feel compelled to take that photo. You just admire nature for how it is. So, um, yeah, it is definitely an experience, but yeah, let me know your thoughts if you've ever been through this. Have you ever felt that same experience when you didn't have your phone for a while? Yeah, I'd love to hear your experience. So, see you.